Switch over here, and I think we should be good and live now. Awesome. All right, so everyone, welcome to Tattoo Talks. Today I've got a good friend of the stream, Sydney. Sydney, how you doing? Thank you for being here.
Hi, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How old are you? What do you do for a living, if anything? And how many tattoos do you have?
Okay, so hi, my name is Sydney. I'm 20 years old, and I'm currently a student at Cal State Long Beach.
Mm.
I'm studying both psychology and criminal justice, and I plan to do like forensic psychology and study like the criminal mind. So that's gonna be a lot of fun.
And
um,
what do you do you think tattoos are gonna at all inhibit your ability to do that, or do you think?
See, that is like so growing up, like that was like my main factor was like if I'm gonna get tattoos, they have to be conservative in a sense. But
Mm-hmm.
like obviously it's still not normalized in society to have tattoos professionally, but I want to get rid of that stigma. So I'm getting them like all over my body and I'm just like, what are you
Fuck
gonna
it.
do? Not hire me?
You're
Like
gonna. I'm gonna be too fucking good. You're gonna hire me. It don't fucking matter.
exactly. Like so I was just like, you know what? Like why should a tattoo identify me as a person if
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do something just as well if not tattooed? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, fuck it, I'm gonna full send it.
Fair enough. Fair
But
enough.
I'm still keeping like the conservative mind. Like obviously, like for instance, I would love to get a neck tattoo,
Oh. Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
I'm still gonna be like, you know what? It's not completely normalized yet, so I'll wait a little bit. But it's still in the pages.
My. I would love to get my neck done, my head done, scalp, all that. But I'm just any. If I'm wearing long like a dress suit and they can't be seen, then I'm good for now. After that, I'm gonna get blasted out. Oh. Uh oh. You there? Oh no. Did I lose you? One moment, everyone. I think we might be having some technical difficulties. Oh, there we go. Oh, you're back.
There
Okay.
we go. We're back.
Okay.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
Okay. So, what was your life like? Oh, oh no. Yeah, that's not a bad frozen look. What was life like? There we go. Let me see if I
There we
can
go.
fix that. What was life like before tattoos for you? Were you in an environment that was encouraging of tattoos, looked down at tattoos, friends, family? What was it like?
Yeah, so growing up, like, okay, so growing up, I loved like the alt look. I grew up listening to alternative music. It was like my go-to rager grunge thing. So I was obsessed with like piercings, tattoos, like all the above. And even though like my dad, like he was so with it, he was kind of hindering about tattoos, and so was my mom. They were like, "Oh no, like you're beautiful the way you are, and you know your body is a temple and all that fun stuff." But you know, I've always felt like why like it identifies me, like it's
Hmm.
something that I like to do, and it I don't know, like I don't understand like the point of being so negative about them. So growing up, like my family was like, no, if you get a tattoo you're gonna get kicked out. Oh, you want to be your own person, you're gonna have to this and that, blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, okay, all right. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be the trouble child and just make things really hard for them. I had my tattoos planned, piercings planned, and yeah, I was super determined to get all of it. And with my first thing that I did was I got my nose pierced at like 15, and I begged my mom since I was like 8 to get it. And then she was like, "Oh, okay. I hope this doesn't start anything." Well,
and do you think did you use like getting your nose pierced as like, hey mom, this let's just go ahead and start the process, get you eased into it?
oh yeah, 100%. I'm very much an itch for it. It's like, oh, maybe it's like baby steps for her if I get my nose pierced, and then maybe my ear pierced, and who knows, maybe my tits pierced. Who cares?
I got one of those. The other one fell out, unfortunately.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, it was a bad time. But I completely get it. Okay, so before we jump into it, how many tattoos do you have at the moment?
Oh, so right now I have 8.
8 tattoos. All
Yes.
right, and which one was your first one? How old were you when you got your first tattoo?
So my first one is my biggest piece. It's the one wrapped around my calf. I got that. I okay. So I got that at 17 actually. My birthday was like a month prior to that, so I was like, oh, maybe I can get away with it, and I did. But I got it at 17. It's a really good tattoo. The whole story behind it is like really beautiful to me. So, for those of you that don't know, I play rugby at Cal State Long Beach, and I actually started playing rugby my first no last year of high school, my senior year. So the story of it was that I used to play softball, and my my school was having this what are they called? Like I guess it's a fundraiser to like sponsor the other teams. So I was walking around campus, and one of my good friends came up to me and was like, "Hey, we're starting a girls rugby team. You should join." And I was like, "Fuck no! Like I am such a bitch when it comes to getting hurt. Like you think I want to get tackled by other people?" So I was like, "No way." And so I had another friend with me, and she was my hype man. She was like, "If you do it, I'll do it." And I was like, "Ooh, maybe I'll do it." So we both signed up, and then we were both hyping each other up. "Oh, you're gonna go to practice this week, right?" "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And then I go to practice, and I'm there, and I'm looking around, and I'm the only girl there, and I'm just like, wow.
How fun. Yeah, like, not, yeah.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh god, this is gonna be horrible. But I was like, you know what? Just stick it through. You're already here. What's the worst that can happen?
Hmm.
Well, luckily I stayed because I truly fell in love with rugby. It's just such a thrill, and it's just so exciting. So yeah. So the reason I got the tattoo was I played for a youth club called Belmont Shore Rugby,
Hmm.
and they train the players to play a gentleman's sport. That's what rugby is. But they disciplined us through Polynesian culture and their disciplines. So I was heavily influenced by like Samoan, Tongans, all the Polynesian branches and their culture. So I got the tattoo out of respect for helping me raise myself as a woman, not through just the sport, but also like grow as a person myself. So I got that just respect for them.
Was there like a period during training where they're like, "Hey, you need to know this. Why is it so important? Why is the Polynesian culture so important to rugby itself for people who don't know?"
Yeah. So well, for people don't know the originated in European culture, but rugby is super influenced within the Polynesian cultures themselves. They love playing rugby out there. My friends love playing rugby. It's just a good way to get the aggression out and also have a good communication with the people around you. So they were super disciplined on the sport because, like I said earlier, it's a gentleman's sport. So they were very much having a representation for yourself that we're going to uphold ourselves, and we're going to use our culture to make it more beautiful and to have more of a respect for it. And I was like, you know what? I totally agree. And it's also just, it's really cool because it's like allowing other people of other cultures to embrace it and accept it. And show off my tattoos for it is just like awesome.
And this design, why did you go up the leg? Is there any significance behind the leg and the type of design that it is in particular?
So I actually saw this person. She has a tattoo similar to mine, but it's a Hawaiian tribal, and
Hmm.
I just loved the pattern of it. I just thought it was beautiful, and I wanted something similar, but I wanted more of like a Samoan influence since most of my coaches were Samoan.
Hmm.
So I looked up this tattoo shop, and they're actually one of the only shops out here who do the traditional tattoos, where they tap it into your skin and you have to sit through the entire procedure.
Hmm.
And I didn't get that. I got the machine gun, but I went there specifically because they had knowledge within that and
Hmm.
people from other cultures to do it. So I was like, cool. So I went there, and my friend as well, he actually got, it's called a pi'a. It's where they get the tattoo from their stomach all the way down to like the top of their knees. And it's for people who have relations to like the chief.
Hmm.
So if you are the son of the chief, you would get that tattoo. And it's like the legacy is being passed on from you. So my friend got tattooed by this guy. His name is Tim, and so he referred him to me. So I went to Tim, and he was totally psyched up to do it. He did my tattoo, and I did the whole sitting, and yeah, and it came out the way it did, and I
Was
love it.
was there any issue with you being a person who's not necessarily from the culture getting a tattoo of that culture?
Yeah, so that was my biggest concern doing that, because obviously cultural appropriation is a big thing.
Hmm.
So before I got it, I spent like a year just thinking and like, do I really want to get this tattoo? So I have a lot of friends that are within the culture, so I would ask them, and I would ask their relatives and their elders and say, well, do you find it disrespectful that other people of other cultures get it? And they say that as long as you have a story behind it and that you have it with like you hold it with a good representation, there should be no reason why somebody should attack you for it. And so with that gave me more of a like comfort in like, okay, well, yes, I'm here to embrace it and to show off your culture and say like, look how beautiful this culture is. So that's what definitely got me to do
So
it.
so rather than just saying, "Oh, I think it looks cool," it's I want this to be a part of me forever because of how it's affected me and changed me.
Exactly, 100%.
And what about getting your first tattoo? Were you like some people psych themselves up, some people just get drunk to get through it? How did you deal with like build up to the experience, and then what was it like getting your first tattoo?
So what I noticed is that like I like to do a lot of research and try to figure things out, or oh,
Hmm.
what's the pain rate, or what's this and that. But you truly won't know until you do it. So I kind of like with all my piercings and all my tattoos, like I always just kind of go in with like an empty head, and I'm just like, let's just see what happens. So with that being my first tattoo, even Tim was like, oh, I don't know why you're getting such a big tattoo for like your first one, and I was like, well, I gotta start somewhere.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I started with that, and surprisingly, I was not surprised. Yes, blah, blah, blah. It was surprising how much it didn't hurt. I thought it was gonna be like super excruciating, like
Hmm.
a needle being dragged completely through my entire skin, like just all this excessive bullshit that I heard from other people. But as soon as I got in there, I was like, oh my god, this guy's not bad.
Hmm.
But I will not lie. As soon as it got to like the higher part to like the knee and the
Hmm.
back part of where the thinner skin is, oh, she was spicy. It was a pain in the booty. So if you do want a tattoo from there, just be ready for that type of pain.
Hmm. And how long did that tattoo take, roughly, if you know?
So I did 2 sessions, and both of them were like around average 8 hours.
Oh, geez, really?
Oh yeah, I'm a trooper. I'll sit through anything.
So so you're down there, that section that was about 16 hours total.
Yeah, so the first
Wow.
session was 9, and then the second session was 7, and then I
Hmm.
went in the next day for like a 30-minute shade-in session. But it took us a while, but a lot of because he free-handed the entire thing. So the only thing that he did, yeah, he's an
Oh, okay.
animal.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so he free-handed the entire thing. So the only thing that he actually sketched out was the wrapping, so it was symmetrical.
Hmm.
So he was just like, if you're gonna let me freehand it, then go ahead. And I go, okay. So he just took his time with it, and it came out awesome.
That makes a lot more sense as to the time as opposed to like following just the
Yes.
sketch and thing on there, like freehanding it. And that's always impressive of an artist. Did he like sharpie your skin, or did he literally? Okay.
No, yeah,
That,
he would go in like in his little section. So like as I would turn, he would then sketch out that part that he can see, and then
mhm.
as I go on, it do that.
And is there any significance to the particular pattern that he did, or did he just do a pattern that follows like how the culture normally does it? Just something
Yeah,
individualistic.
yeah, so I just kind of gave him like I only gave him 2 guidelines. I was like, I would prefer a Samoan tribal, and that you add the whale's tail on the back of the. I know you can't really see it in the picture, but there's a whale's tail on the back for the
Oh.
team itself. Yeah,
Mhm.
oh, should have taken a picture of that. But other than that, I was like, I trust you. I know you're educated within this, so if you can just put the symbolic meaning into it, that would be awesome. And then after when I looked at the symbols, I went home and studied them to kind of get like the meaning of what each one meant.
Mhm.
And so I was like, okay, this is great.
And how was the reveal to your teammates and your coaches and everyone?
They were so shocked. Like, so in the Samoan culture, they call white people palongis, and it's not like racist or anything. It's just kind of like,
It's
oh,
hey, you're white, you're a
it's a
plung.
palongi over there. So I was like, when I came, my coach was like, oh my gosh, look, the palongi girl with the tattoo. And they were just so shocked, but they were so honored that like I wanted to embrace their culture, and
Mhm.
that I just told them like, no, like thanks to you, you're the reason why I got it. Like I just love it, and they were super like, oh, they love it. And I get so many comments about it from all different types of cultures, but I love it when Polynesians just go, I love your tattoo, and I'm like, thank you.
Have you ever gotten any looks from other people of similar cultures looking at it and just kind of give you like that little what's the girl doing?
Yeah, I think some people kind of look at me like that girl's white. Like, there's no way. Like, people come up with their own assumptions, so they don't know my story.
Hmm.
So people do look at me, but what I've noticed is that it's not really Polynesian people. It's other cultures. So, like for instance, like white people love to judge my tattoos. They always come up to me and they go, "What does your tattoo mean? Well, why did you get it? Well, this, and that." And I'm like, "Man, don't worry about me."
Watch the
Yeah,
tattoo
I get a
talks.
lot.
I'll tell you, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about
Exactly. You want to tune in? Come in.
it. Okay,
Yeah.
so,
So
and overall, it was like a good experience, and you don't have any like
no.
any regrets looking back on it. I'm assuming not. You seem pretty fucking
Oh
happy
no,
about
not at
this one.
all. I definitely am confident about these tattoos. I
Mhm.
have no shame of telling people why I got it. And if they have, in my opinion, it's kind of like if you are so hurt by what I feel as though I perceive to this tattoo, then that's just your own ego talking to you. Like, I have a positive mindset for these tattoos, and all I want to do is embrace the culture. And if you have nothing to do but hate about it, then that's just your issue.
I once read something that's like, don't worry about my tattoos. My tattoos are like an outward expression of my inner being, and it
Yeah,
really and your story, and especially with the rugby connection behind it. It's yeah, people can fuck off if they don't like it, in my opinion.
literally.
And then actually coming home, you showed your parents your first tattoo.
Oh yeah, they were literally like, like every time I tell them that I want to do something, like for instance, I'm adopting a cat this weekend, so they were like,
Hey.
their biggest thing to do is just look at me like, we're not gonna tell you no, but okay.
I know that one.
so
Yep.
so they're always very hesitant and skeptic about whatever I want to do. But as soon as I come home, they always go, you know what? It actually kind of looks pretty cool. I kind of like it. And so now they're over here trying to plan my tattoos with me, like, oh, where are you gonna get it, or what are you gonna get
Oh, that's
next?
so
Or
sweet.
yeah, they're super supportive. I just think they're kind of hesitant with new things, and they're
Hmm.
just like, oh, I don't know how this is gonna be handled. But they have a lot of trust in me, and they know that I wouldn't do anything erratical.
Well, yeah, I'm fairly the same way. Like, I'll have an idea of something, I'll jump right into it, like, hey, I'm gonna go do this, and my parents are like, oh, okay, but eventually, over time, the more and more I do it, they see like usually I don't fall flat on my face, and
Yes,
they
exactly.
become more understanding of what I'm doing, even though it's kind of out of the blue. It's not necessarily erratic or irrational, but there's a reason
Yes,
behind it, and I know what I'm doing. So yeah.
exactly, 100%.
And so, what was your next tattoo? What'd you get, and how old were you?
My next tattoo. So that was my first one. What was my next one? Oh, my next one was the one on my back. It was I got it about
This
2 years ago.
this one right
Yes,
here.
that one. So that is a karma symbol. So I'm super into like the spirituality aspect of
Kana.
life. A karma.
Karma. Okay.
So I'm super into like the spiritual aspect of life and all like Hindu cultures and Buddhism cultures and all that. So growing up and even like now when people tell me things or like, oh, should I do this or that, I always tell them like, oh, well, karma, like just remember
Mhm.
karma. So I got that tattoo out of respect for that, and I put it on my back specifically because it's a reminder for me that like no matter what I do, karma will always be following me. So I just have to, even though I can't see it, it's there. So I have to be careful and make sure that I do things in the right manners.
To encourage good karma.
Exactly.
And does that even show on the rugby field? Like, are
Oh,
you?
I
um,
see. I will not lie.
this now this pattern in particular, is this something you chose? Is this something that you drew? Did the artist figure it out? And how did you find this artist as well?
Yeah, so with this symbol I kind of like looked up karma symbols, and so like there was a whole bunch of type of symbols, but I did a little bit of research on it, and this was considered like the Celtic kind of style of the karma symbol.
Yeah,
It's
this
a
is
little more.
definitely a transformation of a Celtic knot for sure.
Yes, 100%. So, I kind of just like took it as that and was like, I really liked the shaping of it and like the style and more of the origins of it. And it's this one's a little bit more universal for the symbol, so I was like,
Hmm.
okay, this one will work for me. And then the story with this one about getting this tattoo. So I was with my old friend. He's actually my neighbor, and it was his birthday. He just turned 18, and he really, really wanted a tattoo. So I was like,
Oh,
okay.
the tattoo buddies! I know this story.
Oh yes, I am that tattoo buddy. Oh my god, I literally get rid of everyone's tattoo virginity. So
I've taken at least I've been there for at least like 7 or 8. So
oh
I
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So I took him out to LA, and I was like, I looked up like a whole bunch of tattoo shops and was like, okay, so we drove up all the way to LA and we went to these shops, and none of them wanted to take us. But he originally wanted like a dollar sign on his finger, so they were kind of like, we don't want to take you because the tattoo's gonna be need to be retouched every year, this and
Hmm.
that. And I was like, I understand, but we're also giving you profits.
Is
So,
it?
I mean, do you want the money or not? And they were just like, no, 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 no. So I was like, okay. So we drove back to Long Beach, and I was like, I need to find a tattoo shop that we can get you one. And then I get pierced at this place on Broadway. It's called Somatics.
Hmm.
And so they just
Oh, that's
yes,
where I got my nipple piercing.
no way. I
Yeah.
love them. They're such good people. Oh my god. So yes, so Somatics just opened their tattoo shop like not even a month. So and they were only doing walk-ins. So I was
Mhm.
like, oh perfect, we can just go there. So we went upstairs, and they only had one tattoo artist, but he was doing, all the walk-ins. And he goes by Claw. He's pretty cool. He goes by Claw because he only has one hand. So when we walked in, I'm not even
Oh.
yes, I know. When I walked in, I was super hesitant. I was like, oh my god, like oh my gosh. So I was like, but you know what? He's hired, so he obviously is good. So
Mhm.
who am I to judge? So we came in, and he was just like super good vibes. Hey, what do you guys want? Anything you want, we can help you out. So I got that, and then my friend decided to like change his mind and get like some Roman numerals on his arm for his family members. So I was like,
Mhm.
awesome, we were able to figure something out. So yeah, he was a cool dude. Totally just went up to the shop, got it done, and then called it a day.
Now, I ask this anytime someone says they went with their buddy to take their virginity. I'm assuming you went first.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
And is this design the size and everything, placement, were there any issues with that, or was the tattoo artist like, nope, dope, fun, easy, let's nail it?
Yeah, so I originally wanted it like on my neck, like super high up on my
Mm-hmm.
neck, but he was like, the way your anatomy is structured, it just doesn't look like it will look correct. He's like, so we can kind of lower it down to the top of your spine.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, it would look really cool. And so he was like taking his time trying to get the symmetry of it done. And I was like, it was right in the middle of it. So I was like, oh, perfect. And then, so yeah, it was all easy, pretty good. The sizing was good. We just kind of wanted to make it like not too big, but not too small. So
And
everything
are
turned
you
out really
happy
well.
with the changes that your artist came up with and was like, hey, like the placement and everything, or do you think, yeah, he was right, 100%?
Oh yeah, 100%. Before the original picture, the original format of it, there was two lines. So
Mm-hmm.
as you can see, like one lining's going, and there was a second one like following it around it for like a border.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "I think that will look a little too busy. Maybe we can just take that one out and just leave the one line." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And I'm glad he did because I didn't want it to look too like bulky, I guess, in a sense.
Mm-hmm. And
Mm-hmm.
how was because that's right on spine, right?
Yes, like
How
right
was
on like the nub.
how's the the pain on that? How's the like? Did it hurt better, worse? And also, do you know roughly how long this tattoo took?
Oh, this definitely took no more than 20 minutes. It was like in
Just
and out. Boop, 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 boop. It definitely was a little bit. I think with back tattoos, they're more uncomfortable than they are painful.
Mhm.
So it's more of like with the higher one up there, it felt like I said earlier, that needle dragging in the skin. And I think with the bone, you can just definitely feel it's more of like a heavy plate.
Yeah.
So like it actually has something to ricochet off of instead of just bouncing off the skin. So it was a little interesting. I think you just felt it a little bit more, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I can't do this.
I when they did my ribs, it felt like the ricocheting and the vibrations. It felt like the needle was like under the bone too. It was so fucking weird.
Yeah,
And
the rib
then your
one.
buddy did he enjoy his tattoo? Did he sit just fine?
Oh yeah, he loved it. He was like, "Oh, I thought this was gonna be way painful," and I was like, "No, no, no, trust me." And he got it right here on the side of his arm, so I
Hmm.
was like, "Nice and meaty, you got it."
And then what would you get after this? What was next?
The next one after that is the one on my rib cage.
Let's see. Let's find that one. This one.
Yes.
All right.
So
So how long after your last tattoo did you get this? Was there any planning for this one?
So for this one, the only planning I had this tattoo session coming up, but I
Mhm.
had no idea what I was gonna get because I was also going with my other friend. She just turned 18, and I was going for her tattoo
Mhm.
session. So I was like, you know what, I want a tattoo. What do I want? So me going into Pinterest and what can look cute on my body. So I guess the symbolic meaning behind this is like I go surfing and I love being out in the ocean and being a SoCal baby. I just thought I can get a little bit of representation. So I got that on the side of the ribs because I also was like, where else could I put this? So the ribs were cool and I did that. But I
So
went for my friend.
what are we looking at here? So I see is that I'm assuming the golden poppy, right?
Yes.
California state
There's
flower.
yeah, not hibiscus. Yeah, hibiscus plumerias,
Hmm.
and then just some leaves to fill in, and then the circle around it's supposed to like represent the sun, and then the wave crashing.
Oh, that's a really cool way to do the sun with the dots going around it.
Yeah, I saw
That's
that and was like,
and then so this is by B Tattoo.
Yes, he also so he does like a whole bunch of different styles, but he
Hmm.
actually also studies tribals. Funny fact. So when I went to go get this tattoo, he works at Huntington Beach, and my friend was getting tattooed, and when he came up, he goes, "Oh, nice tattoo, like my leg tattoo. Nice tat. Who did your tattoo?" And I tell him, "Oh, Tim." And he goes, "No way. Tim's a really good friend of mine. Like they're super close." So I was like, "That is awesome." So we were chatting up about that, and so he traveled recently to Samoa to like practice and learn all the
Hmm.
cultural stuff. So I'm like, awesome, that's totally cool. He's a cool dude.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. I didn't realize how connected tattooists are because I got a big piece on my side that I got up in NorCal, and then I got was it this one done here in SoCal, and then the artist was like, "Oh, I know that your side piece was that done by Greg," and I'm like, "Yeah," and then so Greg knew this guy. This guy knows one of my other tattooists, and they all know each other, and it's like wow, and it's cool because they see the work and they recognize the work, and when they know the person, and it helps create that connection because you know like if they're good with this tattooist that I trust, then I feel like I can trust this person.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's like, oh, you know him? Oh, okay, obviously he's not going to do me wrong.
How long was the session on this one?
This one did take a bit. It was about like maybe an hour and a half, maybe
Hmm.
close to two. I think it was just because not that I was fidgeting, but it was like such an awkward position that he just had to like kept moving around and come back in and out. So
And now this is rib cage, right? Like
yes,
right on there. How was,
yeah.
because you've done spine, you've done the leg. How's the rib cage in comparison?
So definitely this one was like the same as the back, just
Because
super uncomfortable. But the way he had me positioned was like what made it even worse.
you
Like
have to like kind of just like sit, just kind of contort
yes.
yourself just right.
Yeah, he was like, okay, just go ahead and put your arm up. And I had my arm up like this for 2 hours. So
Mm-hmm.
my arm was falling asleep, and I was like kind of like trying to move it just enough to where it was like I don't have to fully move my body, but it was just not happening. So
Mm-hmm.
then like as soon as he was like, okay, your tattoo's done, go ahead and come up. I came up and my arm just went whoosh, and like wanted to punch him right in the face. So other than that was the only hard part about the tattoo.
And I'm assuming you're happy with it because this is a beautiful tattoo, like
Oh
the
yeah.
shading and I also notice black and white. That's been a theme between all of them. You've done black and white on the leg, black and white on the last one, black and white on this one. Is this something that you're trying to stick with, or is it just that colors just haven't had an opportunity to come in yet? What's going on with that?
Yeah, so I really love like colored tattoos, but I just have like this fear that they're gonna like fade too easily, or
Mm-hmm.
that this and
Mm-hmm.
that, the colors aren't gonna look right on my skin tone. So I was like, black and white is just like super neutral. It goes with everything. And plus, I'm like super into like shaded tattoos. Anything with like shading or dot work, or it's just awesome. So
Mm-hmm.
I like the contrast of the gray to the black. So yeah, I think I want to stick to the black and grays, but I kind of want to get like red pieces filled in. I want to get some
Oh.
traditionals done on my leg, and I want the
Mm-hmm.
red pieces to totally just stand out.
There's a what's it called? Have you seen trash polka tattoos? Are you familiar with those? So
No.
trash polka tattoos are tattoos that are black and white and typically have like red brushstrokes through them. So the only color on them is red in it, and it's a really cool style, like to look into.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Speaking of style, are there any styles that you like most out of anything? Like, are you trying to keep going with a lot of? Are you trying to try all the different styles? Do you just
Mhm.
like see what comes up as you think about it?
Yeah, so right now I'm all over the place, but
Mm-hmm.
but I think like the main goal or like the main objective of all the tattoos, I really love like fine line, like
Mm-hmm.
all the thin lining and using like negative space as like the color contrast onto the tattoo. So I'll probably get like a shit ton more of like line work and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff, but I love traditional tattoos. I want to like fill my entire legs up with them. So I think I'm waiting for those because they're gonna be like more like, oh, spontaneous, here, like
You mean
really
like the
quick.
American traditional type tattoos,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Okay.
The Japanese ones are beautiful too, but I feel like I'm sticking with the American ones.
I got one of those. I think this guy, yeah, right here.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful.
Okay, so you got this one. What's next?
The next one was the gummy bear.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
it.
it is a gummy bear. Okay,
Yes, it
wonderful.
is. I
Please,
know. I get a lot of
please.
comments.
I gotta know. And by the way, anyone watching, if you do have any questions or comments, let us know. We can ask them out there. Oh, let's see. Mbop Maggie says, "Yes, it is, bitch."
Oh, period. That's my best friend.
Hey, okay, all right. So tell us about the gummy bear. Was this a spontaneous tattoo? Thought go into it. Tell me about
Yeah,
it.
actually, good to see that my best friend is in this because she is the reason why I got it. So,
Mm.
my best friend currently is going to school in Minnesota for art. So she's out there in buttfuck snow, and I'm over here in lonely, sunny California. So, she got that She has that tattoo, but in red on her shoulder blade. So she got it done, and I was like obsessed with it. I was like, oh my god, a gummy bear! Like that is fucking cool. So I was like, oh, but I probably would never get that. And then a year later, she came home for the summer, and we were like doing like whatever. I think we were like thrifting, and we drove by this tattoo shop in the traffic circle called Port City. And
Oh,
so I was
I got a
like,
Port City
yes.
tattoo.
Oh, they're all fucking tight. I have another tattoo from them too, but we were like, fuck it, I want a tattoo, let's just go. And she was like, oh, okay. So I went in, and I know she's just like, whatever you can do, I'll do. So we went in, and they were like, all right, what do you want? And I was like, a gummy bear. And I was expecting them to be like, okay, whatever, but they were all like, wait a minute, a gummy bear, that's actually kind of fucking cool. So I was like, so they took me in, and the dude who did it, his name is Jack. He's more professional within like the Japanese traditional style,
Hmm.
but he was like, I'm gonna do your walk-in today. So he got me on the bed and was like, all right, well, so it's supposed to be blue, but it's more of like You can see a little bit better now that it like kind of faded, so the
Hmm.
color stands out. But here it looks black. So she got a red one, I got a blue one, and I just got it for that.
Now, blue gummy bear. Is that because it's your favorite type of gummy bear?
No, I just really liked the color blue at that time.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And let's see. Maggie says she got another one the same day. Another tattoo. Were you there for that?
I'm really bad with memory, but I think she did. What did you get? I don't remember.
Her and Lola. It looks like the comment says.
Oh yes, that's what we were doing. So she, so I was hanging out with her because so she doesn't drive, so I'm her little chauffeur.
Mhm.
But we planned to hang out and we drove all the way to LA because she had a booking with this person who was doing a guest
A guest spot.
yes, she was doing a guest spot in LA at this private studio. So I drove up with her to go get that tattoo. So she got a tattoo right here of her and her cat. So it was super cute. I love it. Yeah, it's such a cute tattoo. So we went up there for that. And so as I was sitting there, I was like, I want to tattoo myself. So that's why we ended up here.
So that brings something up. A lot of people they say one and done with tattoos. For you, tattoos, is it more of like a spur of the moment thing? Are you always gonna want a tattoo if something pops up? Like,
Yeah, so I like to plan my tattoos. I have a whole bunch that are planned that I
mhm.
have saved, but I kind of have those saved for when I have enough money for it. But
Yeah.
a lot of my tattoos are kind of spontaneous. Like I knew I was getting one, but I didn't know what I was getting,
Mhm.
or I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go and get one. So a lot of them were super spontaneous, but they're all pretty much my favorite.
So I'm assuming this tattoo took literally 10 minutes.
Yeah, super easy.
What about pain down there on the ankle?
I didn't feel a single thing. I think there's a myth. There has to be some myth about the ankle hate
Mhm.
because even with my other tattoo on my leg, he started at the very bottom of my foot, tucked in the corner, and then
Mhm.
wrapped around the entire ankle. So I was like super nervous because that's where he started, and I was like, great, we're gonna be starting with the most painful spot. But as soon as he started going, I was like, there's not really much pain. I think it just feels weird. Like you can definitely feel something jabbing at your like
Mhm.
bone, but it wasn't painful. So I
Mhm.
was like, oh okay. But especially in that spot, it's kind of like a sweet tissue spot right in the Achilles. So I didn't feel anything.
Fair enough. Plus, I think it's because your shoes often probably are right there. It wears the skin, and so it's a bit tougher, and it's not much of an issue.
Yeah.
And because it's in that area where your shoes are, is it faded at all from rubbing, or is it still pretty? Got check. Got check.
No, he actually looks pretty good. He's more blue than ever. He is a little patchy though, but
Mhm.
I mean, that's what I was expecting that.
That's fine. In an area with a lot of wear, it's kind of what you expect, and it's not so much about it looking amazing, which it does for a simple tattoo. But
Yeah,
it's a tattoo with you and your best friend.
exactly. Period.
And it looks like she mentioned the artist that was doing guest spot moved to LA personally, Katya Katasenrova.
Yeah, I think she's Russian or she's within
Definitely
that
sounds
sector.
Russian-y.
Yeah, she's a cool sweetheart. Yeah, she's
Oh.
awesome too.
All right, so you got this one, and what's next?
Hmm. Oh, the one on my arm, the cow.
Oh, cow. Do
Yes.
cow.
Yes.
All right,
So,
so what's going on here?
okay, so I got this tattoo on under unfortunate events, unfortunately. So last July, one of my uncles on my mom's side passed away in a car accident, and they not unfortunately, or well maybe they live in Nebraska. So right, like kind of
We're
unfortunate.
Californians. We're spoiled, and we have an ego about ourselves. Just for anyone
Exactly.
watching, we apologize.
Everyone not in California is below me. No. But so unfortunately he passed away in July in a car accident. And
Mhm.
what he did he was super successful. He raised and grew longhorns, Texas longhorns, and then he also breeded and raised racing dogs.
Mhm.
So this one in particular, he had a steed, not a steed, a bull. His name was John Henry, and it was like the top of, I know, right? Like I got everything. John Henry. But hey, do you?
Yeah.
So his name was John Henry, and so he had like a legacy. So he was the top of the family tree, and he breeded every single bull and calf that he had there.
Mhm.
So he had a farm. I'm not sure how many acres, but he had like over 60 cows. So yeah, he definitely loved it. Super humane. He had free range. He treated them super well. He was a really sweet guy. So out of respect for that, I got this tattoo of a stencil of his bull, and
Hmm.
then I got his initials branded on the bottom. His
Is
name
that
was
the LL?
yes, LL. His name was Leon Lenneman, so I got the initials on the side of his booty.
So, so this brings up a type of tattoo that's a little different than the rest. The rest of them were either culturally based or just spur of the moment with a friend thing, which have their own merits. This is the first tattoo where it really takes on the memory of a loved one who's now lost. How does that affect the process for you? Did it change anything about where you're going, and how did you pick this artist for it?
Yeah, so I think we're not it's not that we're super close, but we just never have the time to actually go visit our family. So we'll
Mm-hmm.
see our family like maybe every 7 8 years if we're lucky. So um unfortunately I didn't have a really close connection to him, but like every time that we hung out or we met, he was just such a super cool guy. And my mom, we're a German, half German family. So my mom's side of the family has like 8 siblings.
Mm-hmm.
So out of all their siblings, she only had 2 brothers. So with the one passing away, it was like super significant for her, and it was really hard for her to get through this. So I think really I got this tattoo more for an emotional stability for her. Like,
Mm-hmm.
hey mom, look what I got. Like we can always remember him. Like don't even worry about it. And I think it helped her kind of get through the grieving process as well because she was in love with it as soon as I got it.
So it went from hey, don't get tattoos. You're gonna ruin that temple that is your body. And now it's like,
Hmm.
oh, thank you so much. I love you.
Right? Oh, this one for me.
And so this is this right above your knee, right?
No, this one's actually right on my arm right
Oh
here.
oh shoot, I could
I
okay,
know
fair
it's
enough.
interesting.
It looks like we're looking down. So how was that right there on a 1 to 10?
You know what? I'm not even gonna cap. That one was probably one of my most painful tattoos.
Really?
I have no idea why, because my friend has 2 tattoos on each side, and she has a really high tolerance though, so she's just like nothing hurts me. But like the whole time sitting there, I was like, oh my god, like this hurts a lot. But I think it just has to do with all the fine needle line. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's just like the dragging or the consistent like. So probably just the style of the tattoo artist himself as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the shading was super easy. It was more just like the lining itself. It was kind of very cool.
And also on that note, so this artist is Wachip. Wachip.
Watch it. Yeah. So when I went, I just went in for the walk-in. So when I got this tattoo, I went with 2 of my other friends, and we
Mm-hmm.
also got like other walk-in tattoos. So he was just doing them, but he is a really cool guy. He does a traditional style as well. I think he has more of like a different branch of it. I don't know the true name of it, but almost like I don't know. I saw what the name was, but it's definitely like some subcategory of American traditional. But
Mm-hmm.
he's super vibrant, super colorful, and that's what I really like about his art. So I was like,
Oh, if it's a color form, that would be neo traditional, I think.
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. And how long was this sit roughly? This was
30 minutes. It wasn't bad.
oh, that's not too bad. To hammer this out in 30 minutes is actually pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty good. He was fast with it.
All right. And so at this point, you're on your fourth or fifth tattoo. Are your
Mhm.
parents just like resigned to the point that, all right, she's gonna keep doing this shit?
Yeah, they just know. They're just like, there's no stopping this one. She's pretty rebellious, and I just always feel like I'm like, I hate conforming, and I hate feeling
Yeah.
like I have to conform to everything, and that I have to be silenced and all this and that. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna be a spunky teen and do whatever I want.
I'm in my 20s. I'm gonna go be a spunky teen anyway. I'm gonna do what a teenager would do right now. I'm gonna go
Literally,
get a tattoo with my friends.
and my parents are just like, you know what? Like, as long as she's not doing crack, I really can't complain.
Oh, and it looks like okay. So I'm assuming this is a relative in here. C Moreno 5103.
Ah, yes, that's my dad.
Oh yeah, he said yes. We lost her. Oh, so Mr. Moreno, you're going through the process and the history of losing your daughter over tattoos. I apologize that we are putting it on spotlight for you. So going next. What's after here? What do we got after this?
It's I'd be forgetting.
So we
Yes.
got a
I
sun
think
one.
it's that one.
The sun.
I
Okay.
think it's fun, yeah, because the lot before that one was my cow. Yes.
So tell us about this one. This is by B for Babyface, which I believe you got a couple tattoos from.
Yes.
This is a very interesting looking tattoo. This is almost like looking like an abstract art piece. What's going on behind it? And what you got?
Yeah. So So I've been wanting to like branch off and support more like small local tattoo artists, and I always feel like those type of artists have a huge creativity level. Like they can just draw whatever the fuck they want.
Hmm.
So when I draw, like I also like to sketch and do things like that, and I've always like been interested in like checkers and all that fun stuff. So one night I was just scrolling on Instagram and I was like in the rabbit hole of tattoo artists, and I was just like keep going, keep going. And I follow this private studio in LA, and she so happened to be doing a guest spot there. So I was
Hmm.
like, oh, let me see what her art looks like. And I like fell in love on like at first sight. I was like, this girl's art is just amazing. Like I don't know what it is, but it's just so good. So I was like, I'm gonna wait to see if she like makes something that like just blows my mind. So she was coming out with a whole bunch of flashes, and then she started drawing like her sons. So she came out with this one, and like not even 2 minutes after she posted it on Instagram, I was like, I
Like
love
mine,
this,
mine,
this
mine, me, stop, stop, mine.
yes, and she was just super thrilled, and so she actually does hand pokes.
Hmm.
So
Oh,
yes, she's a hand poker.
is
But
she exclusively hand pokes?
no. So
Okay.
for this one, she did machine. I think she kind of decides like based off like the duration of the tattoo whether or not it's gonna be hand poked.
Hmm.
And if we did hand poke, we'd probably be there all day. But but yeah, so she does both. But this one was machine gun. So I booked my appointment and I went, and she's like such a sweetheart. I loved all her art, and she's just such a good person to talk to.
And how did you come across her? Were you just another Pinterest or Instagram, just kind of scrolling, find her?
Oh yeah, I found her through Instagram on she was guest spot on this shop called Jelly Los Angeles. It's all the way in Koreatown. They have like their own little private studio, and she was just guest spotting there, and I was like, dude, yes, this art is like amazing.
Hey, and someone, because you said going back to an earlier conversation, you mentioned what was it for a white person,
Palongi.
Palangi, because do you know someone named Simba?
Oh my gosh, no way! Hi,
Si-
Simba.
Simba's here. Simba, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. They said, "What's good?" So now as far as this sun, so this is very different than anything else you've gotten. Do you get a lot of questions about this, or looks, or because this is a different type of artwork than a lot of people are more comfortable with? They people when they see tattoos or think of tattoos, they think, oh, we got to go off of the quality of the artwork and how in depth or real it looks. This is something that is in definition 2D. It's very flat.
Yeah.
Like, do you get anything about that, or do you care? Do people say anything?
I don't know if people stare at me that way, but I definitely don't care. It's art, you know, art has so many different forms. Like who's to judge what art really is? I mean, I saw a banana taped on a wall and it was considered art. Like
Oh,
fuck
that
it.
thing that fucking that millions of dollars for the banana on the wall. Oh my, yeah.
Literally. So it's like, who are you to judge me that I want some abstract piece of my arm, but you're
Hmm.
gonna go tape a banana on the wall? But so like well, for instance, I just got the first dose for the COVID vaccine. So it's on the left hand side of my arm.
Hmm.
So when I went, the guy was like, okay, lift your arm up. And I did it. And I saw him kind of go like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's just like, just do it. Just do it. And I don't know how people perceive this. I think when I first show people, they're kind of like, oh, yeah, it's cute. But in their head, they're like, what the fuck?
Like, what is
like
this
the
abstract
arm-
bullshit? Like,
Yeah,
oh, she
like
must think she fucking gets art.
literally. Right, like what do you fucking know? But so like I'm pretty sure people look at it like, oh, does she know that the lines are shaky or this and that? But it's like that's the point of the style. Like the point is supposed to be, I call
Mhm.
it like sketchbook style. Like, you know, it's not
Yeah.
gonna be perfect, but it's gonna come out the way it looks, and I just love it.
And I mean that's what it comes down to is you loving the art that's on you, especially because this isn't something that you really found. This is a piece of artwork by the artists themselves. You're not like, hey, can you turn this into something for me or make it your own? This is literally their own creation. Like if you went to a studio and bought something off of the wall.
Exactly. Yeah,
Or
I always
yeah.
see that. I always see that like people like to well, they'll book flashes, and then like as I'm getting my tattoo done, I'll hear people go, "Oh, well, can you do this to it, or can you do this?" And well, maybe can you do this? And I'm like, the person made it the way it is for a reason. Like
Hmm.
the least that you can do is appreciate it and get it done. So like my only concern is the sizing. Other
Hmm.
than that, I'm like, do whatever you want.
You like and placement, sizing, and that's really something the artist knows best. Like they'll know,
Exactly.
hey, this is what's gonna work best. Your skin's not gonna work here. The way it's wrapped, okay.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so we got the sun. Where and pain, and how long did this take?
Pain, not at all. How
Yeah.
long did it take? It took her about 4 hours to do, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm more than positive is because she really wanted to get like the intricate details of the checkerboards and all the lines to make sure
Mm-hmm.
they come out as symmetrical as they possibly can. So it took her quite a while to do, but I mean, she can start up a conversation with anyone, so it went by pretty quick.
And I'm sorry, you said this one was hand poked or no? No.
Mm-mm, this one
Okay.
was machined. I've yet to get a hand poke, but I want to go back to her for smaller pieces, so hopefully I can get those hand poked.
Okay. And what do we have after this?
I think it would be the last one, the elephant.
Oh well, we got your big. Oh, we got
Oh,
your big ass leg.
I totally forgot about
Did
this
you
one.
forget about the gigantic tattoo on your fucking leg?
Let's forget about that one.
One more to go, right?
Yes, my most recent one.
All right. So this is a brand new tattoo. What is going on?
So with this one, it's also the artist who did my son, B for Babyface, and like I said, I just love her art, and I was like, I need to get another tattoo done by her immediately, and
Mm-hmm.
so she was coming out with flashes, and then she drew this, and I don't know why, it like totally spoke to me. I was like, the optimism and the positivity it's bringing off, I want it on me, so I booked
It's a
it.
very interesting tattoo because when I'm looking at this, like talking from an art perspective, I look at this and it makes me think and feel the same things as looking at your son, and it makes me
Right.
just think. I don't know what about specifically, but it makes me think. So what, like you see it? What are your thoughts when you look at it?
Okay, so this is what I told her. I go, I think the reason why I totally love your art is because it gives me very much Chowder vibes, that Cartoon Network channel
Oh yeah,
show.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, I told her she has a very like much Cuban, like Cuban type of artistic style, like
Mm-hmm.
the I think more like the tropical, um, what's the word, bohemian, I guess I'm looking for. She has that type of influence in it, and she was like, Chowder, I like that. Okay, so she kind of stuck with it, and I just love like the real bohemian of it, and it's just so. I think what her tattoos, they just show off like positivity and like
Mm-hmm.
love and just good vibes, and I think that's like the best part about her tattoos is like whatever you're getting, it's gonna be good vibes.
And where is this located? I can't
This
really
one's
tell.
located on my lower left back.
I like how you got this just like a couple of days ago, and you have to think about where your tattoo is.
I know I would have said like my shoulder.
So how did this hurt? Because you said you're trying to avoid tattooing your back, and then you went and you go get your back tattooed.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, like I have like this plan for like this really huge back tattoo on like the literally the middle of my back. So I
Uh-huh.
was like, what can I do to like kind of fill in the space for it? And so when she came out with this, I was like, okay, I want this, but where should I put it? And I'm kind of saving my legs for all like the traditional tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, where else can I put it? And then I have like styles saved for my arm, like more smaller pictures. I didn't want anything too big. So I was like, I need something that's like flat enough to where it won't look weird when it's curved. So I was like, the back will work. And then I was like, ooh, I mean, it's gonna hurt. And then my friend always says this. She's like, if you're worried about the pain of the tattoo, then maybe you shouldn't be getting the tattoo. Like, you're gonna have to like suffer through it. And I was like, ma'am, yes. You know what? Yes. So,
You're I don't wanna, and I hate that you're right, but you're right.
exactly. I guess I'm gonna have to for the one time.
Well, plus
So,
it's because that when you say stuff like that, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's this movie called Starship Troopers, right?
mhm,
It's a futuristic one where they fight big old bugs in space. Gave me nightmares as a kid. But there's a
mhm.
scene in there where these military guys, they all get tattoos together, and the tattoo process is you literally stick your arm in like a tube, and a laser tattoos you, and then it's done. And I always hated that because it made like part of the tattooing process, and this may be gatekeeping, is getting the tattoo and feeling the pain, experiencing the pain, and it's part of the badge of honor in getting the tattoo. So like it's like, yeah, I earned this art, rather than, I guess it's kind of like saying, hey, I bought the canvas for the art and the paint for the artist to draw something for me. I paid them and I sat through the pain. I get this art now, so it makes
Yeah.
sense.
I mean,
And
yeah, 100%. It just seems kind of like it just seems dumb, like, well, like it's gonna hurt because it's a needle going into your body, so
yeah.
I mean, expect the pain. But then there's also places on the body that actually don't hurt, so it's like if you really really want a tattoo, maybe
Hmm.
you should just reconsider the location.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Is like there, for everybody like who gets tattoos, like I've talked to people who said their ankle hurt, people who said their ankle didn't hurt, people who said, "Oh my god, my thigh hurt so bad and I literally fell asleep getting my thigh." So it can hurt in different areas, but there are certain times or places where tattoos just don't hurt as much in general. So if you're thinking about getting one of your first tattoos, probably do it in one of those spaces if you're worried about the pain for sure.
100%.
All right, so that is all your tattoos. It's very interesting journey. It's nice to see how all the tattoos have differed. Let's go back to like a little round of how you think you've changed yourself as a person from tattoos. Like and your parents, the people who thought of tattoos as a negative thing, because your parents like don't do it, now they're encouraging. Do you
Hmm.
think like you've helped change their mindsets in regards to people with tattoos? Tell us more about life after tattoos.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like just right now, especially with this time in my life, going from 18 to like more into the adult life, I'm learning a whole bunch of new things. And I think with tattoos, a big part of it is like the stigma of it and
Yeah.
all the mindset of what you perceive as them as they are. So, like, I definitely feel like I'm changing a lot of people's mindsets on it, just more of a positive outlook. And like what I like to tell people, because, like I said, it's it shouldn't identify me as a person. I'm just as successful with or without them. So like as a person going to school, hopefully trying to get their grad in, it's
Hmm.
like this tattoo should not undermine me. Like I am just as successful, I'm just as smart, and I can get just as much done with a little bit of ink on my arm. Like
Hmm.
so I hope that like I really just hope like with this generation we're able to like conscue like misinterpret not misinterpret mess around with that stigma and just trying to like get rid of it, because I just think tattoos are so cool and it's just another way for people to like express themselves. And I think it's a cool conversation starter to be like, oh, you like that, so do I, like where did you get a tattoo, and like just good ways to meet people.
I,
But
I
growing
I
up
am
a person,
awkward as shit at parties, but if I see someone with a fucking tattoo, I'm like, we're fucking talking. Let's go.
you must be a cool person, what's up? Exactly. Yeah, but like as a person growing, it's just what I love about it is just meeting people, meeting different perspectives of anything. So like for instance, B for Babyface, she also loves talking about like the spirituality stuff with me. So I was able to like pick her brain and see how she sees and views life, and it's so interesting just to hear people like view things so completely different from me. And it's like it's really eye-opening just to hear people, like I
and
just
and
love
it all
conversating.
just comes down to just some ink fucking someone dug into your skin, and
Yep,
it the story that it could tell or the story behind it, meaning or no meaning, like you
exactly.
got a story that
Exactly.
it's going to be one of the only things that go with you till your death. And I completely agree. It shouldn't be you should not be judged for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're it's beautiful. It's art. Like you can appreciate art on a canvas. I am the canvas appreciated on me. So
Ooh, I am the
right?
kid that. Oh, that's a. Ooh, I gotta put that on a. I gotta. Ooh, put that on a
Oh, go
shirt.
for it.
That should get that tattooed on me. Fucking.
Little quote.
Which, by the way, it seems like you're someone who goes and gets tattoos with people. If you ever want to just go get a fucking pick and stick, I am there.
Oh, period.
like
Period.
like
Let's go.
as soon as I get my jabs, as soon as I'm vaccinated, fucking I'm there. Let's go. We can go down to Port City and just go fucking walk in.
Oh, full send. Full
Full
send that
send.
bitch.
Uh, so is there anything else that you'd like to say to our audience, or anything you would like to share about your tattoos? Do you have anything? What's coming up? Any tattoos planned?
So actually, yeah, I do have a tattoo planned coming up. I recently like dug through my garage because actually, so with B for Babyface, she like totally inspired me that like you can really do anything with art and
Mm-hmm.
you can tattoo it and someone will appreciate it. So I was like, I kind of want to get into like my creativity avenue. Like I definitely have the eye for it, but it's hard for me to see what I can actually draw.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like going through my garage because my brother he bought like a whole shit ton of books on like drawing and values and stuff like that. So I was going through it and I came across this child book that I haven't seen, like literally memory unlocked when I saw it, and it like brought so many memories back. And I was like, okay, I want this tattooed. I have the book right here, I'll show
Hey,
you
yes, yes, yes.
for
Oh, also,
reference.
Mbop Maggie says you haven't let her tattoo you yet.
And Bob Maggie, she knows damn well I because she's totally into like letting people stick and poke her, and I'm like, no, 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 no. Like I'm super so she's like, let me do it, and I'm like, no.
I
I don't
had
know, there's
a
like
we had a tattooist on the show the other day. She tattooed herself. Ooh,
That's I
that
couldn't. I'd
I
be
nope.
like,
Oh. Just drew a line. I'm done. Nope. All right. So show us the book.
like
Show us. What is the
okay.
childhood book?
So the book is called Stars, Moons, and Clouds, but it's a glow in the dark book, and
Ooh.
it has like lining around all this stuff, and it's sick as fuck. And I just remember being like super like obsessed with it. But at the end of the book, so basically like the plot of the book is like this kid steals the stars out of the sky, and then the sky is like, we need the stars to be the sky, so he like gives them back. So at the end of the book, it's like all of them in harmony. So I was gonna get this tattooed in like grayscale on like my
Aw.
arm. So I was gonna get it for a little childhood memory. Respect.
You know, because I know you want to stick with the black and white, but if you were someone who liked color tattoos, you could do that in glow in the dark ink or UV reactive ink, and then like then you'd be like, hey, I got my glow in the dark kid book right the fuck here.
That would actually be sick as fuck. I know they have like white highlight lining that is
Hmm.
like glow in the dark, so I could probably think of something that would
Well,
be
they got like
sick.
black light ink, so like fucking you know get
Yeah.
um
You blew my mind.
well, Sydney, I think I don't think we got anything else, but I want to say thank you very much. You've been an absolutely excellent guest. To everyone that came into the chat, thank you very much for Usokage562 and C Moreno. Thank you for following. Anyone who hasn't followed, please click the follow button. It would help me a lot. Sydney, I hope to get tattooed with you soon, and let us know when you get more tattoos. We'd love to have you back on. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
To everyone here watching, thank you for being here. And I've got another show coming up in, I believe, in about an hour or so. So if you come back then, we'd love to have you. And thank you. Have a good day.
Bye, y'all.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Have a good day. That was fucking badass.